Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is September the 30th, 2023. Hopefully, this episode finds you well in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing all right so far on this Saturday. Overall, I should say good, but I gotta tell you, I had the worst sleep. Just the worst. I was chilling. I was thinking to myself, hey, like it seems like I am a little bit more on the mend. I'm doing better, in terms of walking around. That's good. And then, sure enough, the night came, and like I don't know, I feel like it's like the swelling or something like that. My foot just went crazy. So I was able to like fall asleep for like 20, 30 minutes, but of course I like fell asleep with things on, so then I woke up, I was like, ugh, this wasn't good. And I just felt like just the throbbing. I was like, oh no. And at one point, I was able to fall back asleep. And then I think I woke up maybe an hour or so later. And you know that thing where it's a mix between you're in pain, but you're also very tired. So like there's just like this delusional kind of vibe kind of generating out of you, and you're just rolling around. Like that's where I was at. And at one point, I think I needed to take a piss or get some water. I think it was like a kind of combination thing, and I was trying to tough it out, be like, oh, I didn't need to get the Advil. I'm fine. I can just go to sleep. I was like, no, I'm gonna do two things. I'm gonna get out of bed. I'm gonna like just step. I'm gonna just mash my foot against the ground until I fall over, and then I'm gonna do all the stuff I need to do. Like I was just crazed. I was in frenzy. I don't know. Like it was not a fun moment. I didn't do that, by the way. I just got up and was happy to stand, and I hobbled over, got all the stuff I needed to get done. Um, I think later I put some ice on it. I did the whole nine. So, it was not a fun night. But here we are. It's Saturday. I got my laundry done, so that's good. We love to see that. I got some donuts in me, plus a sticky bun. We love to see that. Thank you, Jupiter Donuts. So yeah, like it's been a good day so far. And yet again, the sun is shining, and I'm able to walk, so that's good. It's just I still can't do my full workout, still can't do the walks I want to do, but the story is going on. It continues. Let's see. I don't think there's really any other personal news I really wanted to report. So I'm going to take my little startup, and then we will get into some news. All right. From the BBC News, Nagorno Karabakh. Armenia says 100,000 refugees flee region. Um, so yeah, I mean, this is just another update. Won't really stick on it too long. I will say, when this shit started, I did not expect, like, just running through it, like thinking, like, okay, maybe a good chunk of the people are gonna be leaving, but not everyone. But more or less, it's down to like maybe there's like 100, maybe a couple hundred people still remaining there. So like either elderly or just people who just literally can't move or just outright do not want to. That's more or less it. And in a way, I can understand the conversation if that's an ethnic cleansing in and of itself. Like, even if you say on paper, we were accommodating to these people, but it didn't seem that way. Also, another thing I wanted to report while we're on the subject, I believe from the fuel depot explosion on Monday, we did cover that. The death toll has gone up to, I think, I think they're doing the whole thing. Or let me just read it. In addition to those killed during the Azerbaijani military operation, at least 170 people were killed in a huge explosion at a fuel depot in Nagorno Karabakh on Monday. So the number has gone up, at least from the last I reported it. So that's unfortunate, but yeah, I'm just wanted to just update there. I felt like it was worth talking about, being that literally, we started this shit what about a week and a half ago or something like that, and here we are now. Like, just everyone just had to like more or less clear out because it just shit just was seeming so scary, and you can understand that. So, all right, we can go ahead and move along. I got another BBC news story. Five alleged Russian spies appear in London court. Now, I don't know. This story felt eerily familiar. I was like, did I cover this? Did I cover this? I'm like, no, this is a new batch of spies. Season 2. Five people accused of being part of a Russian spy ring operating in the UK have appeared in court. Bulgarian nationals Orlin Rusev, Bizer Dihambazov, Katrin Ivanova, Ivan Strayanov, and Vanya Gabirova allegedly conspired to gather information which would be useful to an enemy. It is alleged they carried out surveillance on people in places targeted by Russia between August of 2020 and February 2023. The suspects were remanded in custody. Let's see. They didn't say much so far in terms of like their hearings or whatever. They did confirm like their date of birth and their names. So I guess we'll just go ahead and give that rundown yet again. Orlin Rusev, 45 years old, of Great Yarmouth, Norfolk. Bizer Dihambazov, 41, of Harrow, Northwest London. Katrina Ivanova, 31, of the same Harrow address. Ivan Stoyanov of Greenford, West London, and Vanya Gabernova, 29, from Churchway, Northwest London. Let's see. They do talk about Stoyanov a decent amount, and I do remember like listening to a BBC, coverage on this on their podcast. But his nickname, the Destroyer, in his like amateur mixed martial arts, situation. He has been on, TV, or at least, YouTube coverage, which is more or less TV these days, I feel like. Let's see. He practices what is called combat sambo fights. Which is a form of martial arts popular in Eastern Europe. Now, I initially was like, oh shit, Sambo. Like that triggered something. I was worried. But it does, check out. It's like a real style of fighting. It does seem pretty interesting. It's like jiu-jitsu, but way wider, I feel like. But not in like necessarily a bad way. But yeah, just a little different. It incorporates various wrestling, techniques, yada, yada, yada. Let's see here. Also, if it does turn out that I'm wrong and I did already cover this, it is the same set of spies, then my bad. Y'all know I've done that before. I'm not perfect. And this felt like a completely new story. So, I'm hoping that this is another set. Because like I said, I mean, spy shit is important. Obviously people can die. There's ramifications, yada, yada. But I've said it before. I'll say it again. Every country does it. You're only mad when it happens in your country, and then you're mad at the country that did it to you. But as an American, I feel like I can't talk shit because we literally spy on our own homies. Like, we spy on everybody. So, I don't know. I just don't freak out about it. And I just find it interesting to cover that shit. But yeah, sticking in the BBC News world, I can't get out. I'm sure I could have. This is a New York story. New York City, state of emergency declared over flash flooding. Let's get into this. This is some high waters. A state of emergency has been declared in New York City as strong storms bring flash flooding. Many of the city's subway systems, streets, and highways have flooded, while at least one terminal at LaGuardia Airport closed on Friday before reopening later. Up to 8 inches or 20 centimeters of rain fell in some parts of the city, but skies had calmed slightly by the evening. This is a dangerous, life-threatening storm. Governor Kathy Hochul. Jeez, Pete's. I can't talk. I am declaring a state of emergency across New York City, Long Island, and the Hudson Valley due to the extreme rainfall we're seeing throughout the region, Governor Hochul said on X, formerly known as Twitter. Love when you have to say the whole thing. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely just been a really wet and wild ride this week for New Yorkers. I was watching a video of like just these people on a bus, and you just see the water just flowing in, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And like there's almost like this weird kind of calm on the bus. It doesn't feel like people are freaking out. Like I would think I'd freak out in that situation. People are just literally like just putting their feet up and just kind of riding the right way. Like I'm like, you guys are like taking water. I would be so freaked out. I've never been in a flood type situation before, so that would definitely scare me. It does seem too that this has become a point of contention because it's happening more and more often, and it especially affects people. It affects all people. Like no one escapes this, the rich and the poor. I know that like if you're any kind of business owner, your shit is fucked. Like there's just nothing you can do, and the shit is becoming so common. Insurance companies are like, yeah, we're not giving you flood insurance. So like when these things happen, now your equipment, all this kind of shit, it's damaged. What are you gonna fucking do? For obviously the people who are poor, you need public transit. And it's like, well, good, at least that New York has that. But what are you going to do when the metro, the subway, all these things are literally flooded? And not to mention, there's no like backup plan. There's no like direction. Everyone's just taking water. And it's just now we're in water world now. Hopefully you're Kevin Costner and you can hang. And if you get that joke, you're fucking based. But yeah, I mean, it's a sad situation. I think, we've covered New York City a little bit in terms of it is a sinking city. It is like in a Venice kind of vibe. With climate change, things don't look good. It's looking rough. It's looking rough for the city. But, I know that people are going to endure. Luckily, so far, I haven't heard of any loss of life or anything like that, any kind of critical injuries. Hopefully that stays that way. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about the situation in New York, taking on water. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our last story of the day, which means I'm going to take my break, and then we'll close this out. All right. Our last story comes from the entrepreneur. Christian and oh boy, I'm getting influenced right now. Christian influencer found guilty of defrauding dozens, ordered to pay nearly $90,000. So we're talking about Dana Channel. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I'm probably wrong. It's probably Dana Chanel. It's probably fancy. Probably fancy. A Christian influencer is taking heat for her not so holy practices after being accused of scamming dozens of clients and being ordered to pay them nearly $87,000. Let's see here. Dana Chanel, whose real name is Casey Oliveira, probably getting both these names wrong, has over 1.1 million followers on Instagram, where she promoted two companies she co-owns: Credit Examiners, a credit repair company, and Alakazam Apps, an app developer. Jeez, old Pete. This already feels cautionary at the top. Now, y'all know me. I love a good fraud. I love a good heist. I cannot look away. And, of course, Dana, she just had this Christian grift, apparently. She's been, working this up. And sadly, it was effective. It took people in. And it's under the thing of, like, we always want to go to a face that we can trust. I think an anecdotal example just for myself. I remember growing up and seeing, what's his fucking name? Rush, the dude, he was like Run DMC's brother guy or whatever. Russell Simmons, my God, had to dig up his fucking name. But he had the Rush card, and it was supposed to be credit for like black people. It's supposed to help black people, impoverished people. But it's a credit card, dude. Like, what do you mean? No. And of course, you do the math, you do the logistics on this, and none of this shit is helpful. I don't know if that guy, Russell Simmons, ever, got sued or anything like that, but needless to say, I don't think he pulled anyone out of poverty with his credit card. And I don't think Dana Chanel was doing anyone any favors with her two, little apps. And essentially, people were buying in either to help for their credit or to build an app for their business, or, to make it, a venture happen. And essentially, in both these cases, people paid upwards of $2,000 for services that they never received, and then asking for their money back, never got a refund. Essentially, constantly calling, harassing, these developers, these companies, and just getting nothing back in return, just getting the runaround. So obviously, it's very frustrating. It's very sad. You're trying to make a thing happen, and of course, you're buying the bit, right? Like, this is a person who's talking about God, religion, their family, how much all these things matter, doing the right thing, blah 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 blah. Very self-help, very positive, right? Very giving wellness, no? But of course, these people are just taking advantage of you. Like, that shit's fucked up. Like, me personally, as a person who is in the sphere, even though I'm not a popular banging booming dude, like, I do create content. I do have the goals of, quote unquote, being an influencer. But you have to understand that, like, you're not supposed to use your power to, like, make money in that way. And it's like, yeah, like, I get it. Like, have a Patreon, like, do a thing. But, like, to me, I've always equated something like that as, like, a tip jar. And if I ever blew up in my, my hypothetical heart of hearts, like, yeah, I could sell out and do some fucking commercials, but that's it. I'm just selling you the same kind of shit that you'd find on a fucking TV screen. I'm not gonna, like, get really fucking innovative and, like, I don't know, make a Ponzi scheme, or, make an app that literally is doing absolutely nothing, just taking people's money. Because that's more or less what it seems like she was doing. Let's see here. In the original lawsuit, which was filed in November of 2021, one customer who enrolled in credit examiners claimed she was told the service would help remove delinquent credit accounts for her, but it did no such thing. She claims she received no refund and had paid the company over $2,000. In another complaint from a nonprofit owner, alleged that she paid Chanel and Alakazam apps over $2,000 to help develop a custom app for her company that never came to fruition, even after she tried to follow up at least 10 times. She also claims she did not receive a refund. Like, that's the worst feeling, right? You're just hitting the motherfuckers up, hey, what's up? I'm just, to whom it may concern, like, yeah, I'm just checking up on my app. How is it going? And you're just getting nothing. Just, like, either static or just bullshit. Like, I don't even know what feels worse in that situation. Let's see here. I think we got a little bit more to close out. Chanel is also the founder of Sprinkle of Jesus, a Christian mobile app, and Curl Bible, a hair and skincare brand. It's like, so, I mean, she's just keeping the hustle going. And I don't like calling it a hustle. I think a hustle is fine. And it's a hustle is a quote unquote noble endeavor to me, because at the end of the day, you're just trying to make a way in this world. So you got to do a little side job for your side job. Okay, do your thing. Hustle is a hustle. But a grift is fucking malicious. I think that's really just terrible thing to do to fellow humanity. I get it. We're all crabs in the bucket, but when you start pinching your fellow man to get up, it's just going to be like, that's fucked up. That's foul. And I do feel like this is what, she's doing. And I'm glad, she's having to pay up for that. I don't know. It's just crazy. It's a crazy world we live in, no? But that's really all I have for today. I wanted to keep it short and sweet. I know I, was long in the tooth last episode talking about fucking old ass debates, but that's a part of the job. Let's see. If you would like to support the effort, I don't have an app for you. Sorry, I can't delete any credit, but I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/Isaiah News. And at the top of the month, I will do my utmost best to shout you out on the podcast. Shout out your newsy status to the world. I will plug a project, thing you're on, thing you're doing. We'll link and build in that regard. But yeah, that's a thing, and it would mean a lot if you did that. Free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. And then I'm on all of the socials. That's right, X, formerly known as Twitter. You can find me or the podcast there. Meta, all of it. I don't like doing the rundown. It takes too long. Let's see here. YouTube, though, that's important. Please subscribe. I'm trying to get those numbers up. Please hit the thumbs up on the episode while you're there. I got a wonderful comment the other day and like it just felt so good. Like I think that's what a store owner feels like when they get their first dollar. Like that's why they put that motherfucker up. Like we did it, Joe. And I know that's not my first comment, but it just feels good whenever you get one. It's just nice. It just feels good. It feels wholesome, and you know we just love to see it. So yeah, those are great. All the reviews, positive reviews, we love to see those. So yeah, thank you so much, and hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye bye. Mwah.